What's up, guys? It is your boy FastLaneD. Oh, we got Storm out today. Oh, look how sexy she looks. Man, I'm still in love with this thing like the first day I got her. With the toast exhaust, the gold accents. Woo! Alright, favorite part of the day. Y'all know the drill. Let's get this cold start going. Good evening, Storm. Listen to her. Favorite part though is watching the headlights go from green to yellow as they warm up. Wow. If you don't love your bike this much, you're on the wrong bike, that's for sure. Alright, here we go. My favorite part of the highway right here. Woo! I feel like motorcycles have literally ruined fast cars for me, and like roller coasters and stuff like that. Just because the G-forces you get from the acceleration on this thing is nowhere near what you get on a roller coaster or what you get in a car. Like this thing just pulls and keeps on pulling. Even at like 130, 140, it still pulls like crazy. So today we're going to talk about how I owned my 2003 CBR600rr basically for free. It's a pretty crazy story. At the time I owned this bike, this was my second bike, and he's freaking out from that cop back there. I mean, if a cop is coming in the opposite direction, by the time they turn around and try and catch back up, we're gone. Because we're cruising at a pretty quick pace here. So I bought the bike for $2,300, which completely emptied out my bank account at the time. And I had the bike for about 6 months. Puke. I still like the Puke name. I finally had the balls to ask Puke what his name was, and it's Connor. But I like Puke more. Hell to the yes. I mean, these are two hooligan bikes right here, man. What's going on? Can I sit on the DRZ? Yeah. I've always wanted to ride one of these. The hooligan bike. This is awesome. It's comfortable too. Wheelies pretty easily. Oh yeah. Just all throttle? Yeah. Hell yeah. Anyone that owns a DRZ is 100% just a hooligan. And I support all of that. I love it. So I bought the bike, $2,300. Insurance every single month was about 45 bucks. I put a rear tire on it, so we'll subtract that. Maybe about, we'll say 200 bucks for mount, install, tire, everything. And that was really it on the bike. Now, how I got so lucky with the CBR600rr was that at the time I was at the University of Georgia. And if you're familiar with any collegiate SEC sports, you know that Alabama and Georgia are huge rivals, especially when it comes to football. Straight gasoline, that's all I smell. I love it. Running rich as fuck. Oh, what year is this?
2000.
Okay.
It's old.
Damn, it doesn't look like a 2000. I love that we're also all squidding today. Squid gang, let's go. No gear. That weekend, I remember this very vividly. That Friday night, before the game, I was sitting in my room, and I typically park my bike right outside my room so I could see it during the day, because I'd open up the blinds. Now obviously at night I'd close the blinds, so I don't want people looking in my bedroom, because I was in the bottom floor apartment. And so I remember around like 11, 12 o'clock, I just hear a big bang. And like, I don't think anything of it, because it's, I mean, it's Georgia, Alabama weekend, so it's just nuts that weekend, and people were hooning around anyways. What in the world are we doing? Oh, let's get it. R1 goes off-road. What can we fit on here perfectly? So, I'll pretend like this is normal. I don't think anything of it, and then about 10 minutes later, I'm like, man, I should probably go, like, look out the window and check on the CBR. And so I get up to go check on it, and I don't see anything, and I'm like, what the heck? And so I go outside, and I walk around a car that was parked in front of it. Notice these are parallel spots. Someone had moved the bike slightly up and had knocked it completely over. And at this point in time, like, this is my pride and joy. So I'm just devastated. I'm freaking out. I'm like, do I call the cops? Do I not call the cops? And I think the most frustrating part was that at the time I had my buddy's CBR600rr, because he was moving, he didn't have a place to put it, so he let me have it. So I had two bikes parked in this parallel spot, and of course the one that gets knocked over is the more expensive one. The CBR600rr is literally sitting there perfectly fine, and my bike is knocked over. Go figure. So the cops come out, I call the cops, they come out and file an incident report. They file an incident report. I finally came with my insurance. My deductible at the time was $500. Keep in mind that I'm a college student, a junior in college, making like $7 or $8 an hour. So $500 at the time was a pretty big expense, especially since I was only working 15 to 18 hours a week. I filed a claim with insurance. Deductible's $500, which I don't have at the time. The adjuster comes out, a really cool guy. He used to ride. He had a son in college too, so he kind of understood the position I was in. And luckily, the only damage really to the bike was just a little fairing damage, like just like small scratches, nothing crazy. But he was like, man, I'll help you out as much as I can. So he looks at the bike and is like, okay, the side fairing, I forgot how much he gave me for that. There were some scratches on like the handlebars, some scratches on the tail, fairing in the back, some scratches on the pegs and the passenger pegs, just like little scratches. And I'm thinking like, I won't get that much money back, like this is gonna suck. Maybe I'll get some like nice new aftermarket fairings and then kind of sell the bike. Because when you wreck something, it just doesn't feel as great as it once did, especially if it was in really good condition. Which this bike was in way better condition than my first bike was. Like a week later, the insurance reaches back out and they gave me, keep in mind this is a 2003, like okay condition, good condition for me and my age at the time and the amount of money that I had and what I paid for the bike. This was back in probably like 2013, 2014. Like the bike's 10 years old, like it has normal wear and tear on it. With all the scratches and whatnot, they gave me $2,300. It was either $2,100 or $2,300. Pretty sure it was $2,300. And then with the $500 deductible, I ended up getting like $1,800 back for the damages on that bike. So I was like, with $1,800, I'm not fixing this bike. I'm gonna get me something nice and new, baby. I just remember being like, I can get a 1000, which I really wanted at the time. I mean, when you first start riding, a 1000 is just like the coolest thing ever, especially since you don't see them that often where I was at Georgia. I had a friend that had this exact bike at the time, which I was in love with, but I couldn't afford that. So let's review everything real quick. I bought the bike for $2,300. Registration for the bike was, I think it was like $300, probably a little bit less than that, but let's round up. $300 for registration. Holding costs, I had that bike for 6 months, $45 a month for insurance. I did put a rear tire on it while I had it, which will round that up. to 200 bucks. I got 2,300 from the insurance, minus 500. So I came out with $1,800, okay? So that pretty much paid for all of my expenses on the bike, and then some, because then I sold the bike for $2,700 with the damages that I put on it. Absolutely insane. So I pretty much made whatever numbers on the screen right now from owning that bike. So I pretty much got it for free, and I netted some money. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. That's probably my favorite flip story that I have. Now, if y'all want me to post a video about how I flip bikes, I'll make one, because I have flip bikes not using insurance money, obviously, just from buying low and selling high. Just finding that one person that just really needs the money, and it's a win-win. I get a bike for an awesome deal. They get the money that they need for whatever situation, whether it's pay off debt or they have a kid coming or something like that. So if y'all want to see a video on that, let me know. I'll probably make one. If you have any cool stories about flipping bikes, let me know. I want to hear them down below. I know I'm not the only one that's gotten this lucky. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you for checking in. Make sure y'all comment, subscribe down below. FastLaneD's out of here. I'll catch y'all on the next one, baby.